U-GeekTV.
Look, man, when I tell you I was ready to go, I ain't set my microphone up or nothing. I ain't did shit I was supposed to do before I turned that damn thing on. And here we are. And the episode is rolling now, so we just gonna roll with it. Welcome back to U-GeekTV. More importantly, welcome back to the Unapologetic Football Show on U-GeekTV. I'm your host, Jarvis, Unapologetic Geek. I am joined by my esteemed colleagues, Triple G, the Gym Geek Gamer, who's also named Greg, so it's quadruple G, and my boy Chris, Hoodie C, man. Welcome back, fellas. Had some technical difficulties last week, so we didn't hop on. I'm back. We're back. And it's all of us together. Greg is not being a student tonight, so that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. But man, we got a lot to get into today. How you guys feeling, man?
Man, let's get into it, man. I'm exceptional.
Look at him, tired ass. He's sleepy as hell.
Outside of being done with classes and the immaculate football we have had in the past 2 weeks, my guy.
Oh my God.
I will sacrifice the sleep to bridle this excitement I had to talk about these topics we got tonight.
Before I signed up to do this goddamn show and you all embarked on this adventure with me, I did not realize just how much time you do spend watching football if you're trying to keep up with all of it. Saturdays and Sundays are a wash. Monday, honestly, there's a saving grace to the trash football we've been getting on Monday. I don't have to necessarily pay attention to it. It's usually inconsequential. But if there is something interesting about this past Monday's game, we'll get into that later. First up, man, we got to talk about the college football playoffs, man. And we got to get these reactions in, these predictions in. We have to chop it up. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the bracket so we're all keeping up. That Sunday selection special, I'm going to give it ESPN props. They handled it like it was an episode of an elimination on The Bachelorette or some shit, the way they did this. They made the cases for all the teams. And I know they've been doing this selection show for a while, but it's been expanded to 12 teams and the drama was there. I was captivated. They did a great job with it. But now we got to talk about the job the selection committee did. And it's very interesting. And I also realized that this is the incorrect bracket. So I got to bring it down. I don't know who put this bracket together because number 3, that Miami, we ain't fucking make it. We didn't make it. Get this shit out of here. Look, that shit just pissed me off. That shit just pissed me off. This is all good. I'm going to call an audible and we're still going to talk about it. What do you all think? Let's start with the top 4. What do you think of top 4 teams, which ended up being Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State? Chris, I'll start with you.
Man, I just want to start off by saying I love the 12-team platform. Gives more teams a chance to make it right. But at the same time, they still need to fix this shit, bro. They I feel like they eliminated the ability to have meritocracy, and that was the whole point of this 12-team playoffs. Like, out of all 4 of the top seeds who all have the bye week, Oregon has the toughest road to the Natty.
Oregon, I text both of you all, and I say Oregon is fucked.
Yeah.
Of all of the teams, Oregon is the one that's like, God damn.
Like that's your reward for us going 13-0. We get to play the hardest gauntlet, bro. Like, I just don't agree with that, man. And at the same time, bro, like, it makes these conference championship games kind of inconsequential at the same time. Because, like, what's the point of playing it if I don't have to worry about it? And then I may get a better side of the bracket if I don't win. So what's the reward for being a champion of your conference other than the automatic qualifier. But if I'm playing in the game and I lose, I'm going anyway. So what's the point?
Right.
Like I just don't get it, bro. Like for that part alone, like the top four, man. Like I get it. You know, congratulations to the top 4 seeds. At the same time, we all know football can be a tricky sport, right? You take this time off, you need to rest, you need to heal. But at the same time, these teams who not on this bye week, they continuously playing ball. They come in rolling, and you need to start your shit back up. They already going full speed. So that's the easiest way to get hit in the mouth. So that's my take on the top 4, bro.
Greg, what did you have?
I'm gonna play. There's a wrestler that I actually love his character. His name is JBL. And I'm going to summon the black JBL in this scenario because I don't care if Oregon has the hardest road. I don't care that they got to fight to win a national championship. This is what you play football for. The NIL deals that these players are getting nowadays, I ain't trying to hear that crying. I ain't trying to hear none of that. Oh, okay, I don't have a bye week. Now that makes it harder for me. Well, say I'm gonna go on the opposite end of it. So are you saying that if they don't get the bye week and they still progress, are we supposed to pat them on the back now? I'm gonna pat you on the back regardless if you win or lose. Me personally, I still gotta do this because it's a podcast, but I don't care about none of these teams. All of them can fall off the earth for me. Y'all know why. I ain't even gonna say. But I really feel like, I mean, I agree with you in the context of, you know, when you win and you don't get those bye weeks, it does make it a lot harder. It makes it challenging. But at the same time, I do feel like for those that are basically headed towards the draft, this is something you got to think about. You know what I'm saying? Like them NFL games, they coming. So, you know what I'm saying? Like you play your hardest game and then you got to come back and play another hard game. I just feel like it propels you the better as a player because now, even if you don't win it, you know what to expect for the next year. So it's like, I know I got to get on top of it because if we don't do it as well, we got to play a game and then we got another game coming up. This team is rested. So how are we going to stand against that adversity? So in this type of situation, I think we've had great football in the past couple of weeks, but this playoff,
oh yes,
man, when you get 12 teams into a bracket and you tell them, look, it's either win or go home, bro, you finna see, now I reference this a lot, you finna see Tom Brady and you finna see Patrick Mahomes come out of all these teams. They're gonna have to. You're gonna have to summon that. You're gonna have to bring that, bro. I gotta leave it on the field. Every play is the last play. I gotta leave everything on the field. Every quarter is 4 quarters. And I feel like that's what we finna get in these 12, out of these 12 teams. But not having that time to rest, it plays a huge difference in how you gonna play for your next game. But at the same time, it should determine you as a player how you show up.
Very well said. So I guess that leaves me and where I am with it. Both of you all raised some good points. I'm gonna err on the side of Greg on this one. I don't give a fuck about that bye week. Y'all better figure it out. Because here's the difference. Here's the issue. Now you're getting paid. You made a good point. It was different when they weren't getting paid, and then you could talk about the impact on the body and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, that is something that should be thought about. But I honestly do not believe there's a correct way to fix this. It is what it is. It would have been an issue if we had a 16-team playoff, an 18-team playoff, whatever the number was. We were going to have some controversy. Hell, we've said it here on this show. Whatever happens, there's going to be something controversial to happen. Now, is this year as outlandish as some of the shit you see in basketball, NCAA basketball? Not really. It's on a different scale. It's all about seeding with this. Ohio State fucked over Oregon when they lost to Michigan. They did. And that goes into what you were saying, Chris, about winning the conference championship. Do you really need it? The people who lost their conference championship, the teams that lost their conference championships were rewarded with this bracket. Ohio State or Tennessee, they can both. Honestly, if they make it past each other, whichever team makes it out of there, I'm going to pick Oregon. I mean, against Oregon. I feel like both of those teams, because one thing about Oregon, they're a finesse team. When you rumble and tumble like Ohio State and Tennessee, a team that Ohio State traditionally is hard-nosed, and Tennessee is coming out of the SEC where they kick each other's ass every year. Yeah, Oregon is in trouble. Then we go down to Texas, who played a grueling game, and they're going against a Clemson team that I don't really trust can handle them. And then they get an Arizona State team that was predicted not to even make it this far at the beginning of the year. They're in trouble too. Honestly, Boise State might have come out the best out of all of this. Looking at the bracket, Boise State, and honestly, Georgia, because Georgia can handle both Notre Dame and Indiana. Seed is number 2 and 3. They got it pretty good from what I can see on here. Because Penn State, I mean, they're a good team, but once they started doing all that damn trickeration and all that shit they be doing, you remember they beat Oklahoma with the hook and ladder play and the Statue of Liberty play like it was backyard football. You can beat Penn State with it. You can beat Penn State with this shit, man. It's the way everything shook out, especially with how we ended up in the final week. I feel like this was probably the best case scenario, because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe Alabama deserved to get in. As great as Alabama is, as hard as the SEC schedule is, they weren't even in the peripheral for the conference championship game, even less so than Tennessee. If they would have made it, and I know it was said on the show, it would have set a bad precedent. And to me, Nick Saban made a good case for and against Alabama. Yes, Alabama didn't go to the conference game. But at the same time, if you rewarded them for losing 3 conference games, that's also a problem.
Right.
I think the committee did what they could with what they had. And it is what it is. I'm just pissed off with Miami for fumbling right at the finish line.
Yeah, that was hard. That was hard.
That was sickening. Miami fumbling at the finish line. That SMU, because I believe we could have beat SMU. By the way, shout out to the Pony XS. I'm always gonna call them the Pony XS. Shout out to them for putting up a hell of a fight in that conference championship game. That was well done. I also got to eat some crow. I said Dabo was cooked. This motherfucker done made it to the damn 12 team.
We all got to get a slice of that. We all got to get a slice of that.
This son of a bitch done made it, but you know what? That's coaching. That's good coaching. That's keeping your guys in it when everything not looking good. So shout out to both of them. Shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs for playing what comes out to, I believe, like 13 quarters or something like that, between having an 8 overtime game and another singular overtime game. Shout out to Arizona State for getting it out the mud. Straight up. Boise State for honestly exceeding all our expectations and having who I believe should be the Heisman winner, if you all want to get into that.
Keep giving that bitch to Genty.
Give that bitch to Jenny, man. That's what they've been doing all year. Hand them something else. Because my issue with that, and we're gonna get into the playoff, and you know, I think I'm making up for last week too. My issue with giving it to Travis Hunter is Genty is great at his one position. Mm-hmm. Travis Hunter is solid at his 2 positions. He's a good wide receiver. Honestly, I'll say he's a great one. He's a good defensive back. It's like a jack of all trades and master of none situation. Genty is the master at his trade. Mm-hmm. It has been dominant. I don't care what conference he plays in. He's been dominant at it. Because if we're going off conferences, to be honest, I hope we're not saying that the Big 12 is supposed to be difficult now. Is that where we're going?
Hell no.
Exactly. So, matter of fact, I want to get y'all thoughts on the Heisman thing. Like, what do you think about Travis and Genty in the cases that they both have. I'll start with you, Greg.
Man, basically what you said was on point with it. Like, honestly, I mean, Travis Hunter is a pivotal player on both sides of the ball, but at the same time, you have a player that's basically dominate in the position, in one position that he has. And I think we talked about this before, and we talked about the running back position as a whole, as it started to seem like it was fading out in the NFL. And this is one of the players that's basically like giving new light to, should we basically close them out, or is this man showing us that he might potentially be another Derrick Henry? So in that aspect, and I'm even not even just how he's playing, but to even know that the 12 bracket playoff game has Boise State in it. Like, that's still wild in my eyes. And it's off the back.
It's off the thank you. Exactly.
Off the back. So you think about it in this concept. Travis Hunter been with Prime in Colorado for 2 years. Had a great season this year. But they didn't touch the 12. Boise State got Jenny and hit the 12. And we're not even talking about hit the 12. They number 3 off one player. Travis Hunter played both sides of the ball. So in my eyes, the argument only comes down to which one of his positions are they looking at the most. Is he more of a receiver that they're looking at, or is it more defense? But Jenny got that lock as far like, bro, we know what he can produce at running back, and we see what he's producing. So I really don't see much of an argument. In my eyes, I really don't see much of an argument. When you got a player that did his job, he didn't do his job. He made a career out of running back by taking them to the 12 team playoff. He made a career out of it. He stamped it that they were gonna make it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Give him the Heisman. Here's the thing about GT and Boise State and them making it. With all of the glaze and the glamour and glitz and all of that Coach Prime and that Colorado team had, if they just had 2 losses and won the conference championship, Oregon would have been pissed off because they would have made Colorado the number 1 seed. Where the money is, they would have did some crazy shit and made Colorado. I promise you they would have did it. They either would have made them the number 1 seed or the number 2. Somebody would have been pissed off. Here's the thing, they didn't get there, so we can't even talk about it. Genty got Boise State there. Chris, what are your thoughts?
I was about to beat this dead horse then, I guess. In this case, the horse is a Bronco, because that motherfucker got that trophy, bro. Like you said, I told people this. I've been telling people this for 3 years. I do think Trav is a better receiver than he is a DB. But at the same time, he's not the best receiver in the country. Genty is head and shoulders above every running back that is in the nation. And like I said, I mean, 1 loss, piggyback the team to the playoffs. You know, and the thing about Trav, he has very good stats at receiver and at corner, right? But he's not in the top at either position. So I saw something that was actually pretty funny recently. You know, everybody talks about how many, snaps he plays a game and, all that shit, which is incredible, but snaps aren't a stat. So, hey, if that's your only advantage, bro, hang that shit up, man. Like,
bro,
you can't, nah, we're not doing that. That's not on
That's
paper.
my thing when it comes to LeBron James and the GOAT debate. All of a sudden, when it looked like he wasn't going to get 6 rings or even 5, we started talking about longevity. When did longevity become a stat? When? That's a different topic for a completely different show. We're not even going to get into it. We're not even going to get into it. Let's run down the bracket. We got to lock it in. Yeah, we got to lock in who right. We got to lock in who wrong. Real quick, I got going against my SEC bias and my Ohio State hate. I got Ohio State beating Tennessee. I got Texas making it past Clemson. I got Penn State beating SMU. I got Penn State beating SMU.
Ooh.
Indiana is going to beat Notre Dame. They're going to sneak them. That's my upset. for the first round. Chris, I'll kick it to you.
First round, like you said, bro, I got Ohio State winning as long as Ryan Day don't do no stupid shit like he did against Michigan. Texas, yeah, I got Texas beating Clemson. I got Penn State beating SMU, man. I just got faith in that Penn State defense and that run game. I think Notre Dame survives Indiana, man.
Okay.
I think that Notre Dame defense is the backbone of that team, and I think they're gonna give that Indiana offense some problems. So that's my first round predictions.
Okay, all right, Greg.
I got Tennessee and Oregon. Clemson and Texas is probably going to be, I can't say a blowout, even though I want it to be. not for the reasons, and not for the reasons that I wanted to, but I'm still giving it to Texas. Staying my tongue saying that. But I'm not giving Penn State that win against SMU. Only because of how they played.
That's my hardest pick. That was my hardest pick, man. And I understand it. I get where you're coming from. Go ahead.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, that Clemson game showed me that when it came to adversity, they adjust. Clemson had them in the first half, and I thought that game was over. I turned it off. And I come back, and it's a good game. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I can give Penn State that win. So I'm going to go with SMU against Boise. And I'm still going to stick Indiana with Georgia. I mean, like you said, Notre Dame's defense is strong, but I think we're looking at an Indiana team that's probably going to surprise us. Because we don't look at Indiana except basketball. So that's why it makes it more interesting that we're seeing them in a 10 seed. They're the 10th seed in the 12-team playoffs. So that's why I really believe Indiana's probably going to take Notre Dame, and it's going to be Georgia and Indiana.
Okay. All right, so that gets us to round 2. I got Oregon and Ohio State. I think Ohio State's gonna crush Oregon in that game. And I'll say the same for Texas and Arizona State. Texas is gonna crush Arizona State in that game. My upset comes with Boise State getting past Penn State. I believe they tired of people talking shit, and they're going to take it out on Penn State. And they're going to have something for their ass. I really do believe that. I like the way Boise State plays. Penn State has some holes and some issues, and Boise State can sneak them. And Georgia is going to get past Indiana. That game may be the one that's a little bit closer than people think it is. But I still got Georgia making it through the next round. How about you guys?
I believe Oregon gonna win out to the next round. I give them that. I didn't even think about that game. I think Arizona State, and I might hurt myself. Arizona State's gonna take Texas. I think Arizona State's gonna take Texas. And I'm that dude that looks at it and I'm like, by the season, I can't give the team that has been dominant the win based off of Georgia, Bama, and a few others. I can't bring that to mind right now. I'm going to give SMU over Boise. I think Jets is going to have a hell of a game, but I think SMU is a stronger team than them. And when it comes down to Georgia, if somebody goes into the college football 2024, 2025 playoff settings and turns off the overtime, I think Indiana might take them.
He said Georgia ain't shit if they can't take it in overtime. That's hilarious. You are absolutely out your goddamn mind if you think Arizona State gonna beat Texas. If you think Arizona State gonna beat Texas, who is definitely pissed off and on a revenge tour, it's no way. I'll give them a chance against Clemson, but even then, I think they're gonna get out coached. But you tripping. You tripping. And that's one of those situations where your Texas hate really came out, just
really came out. I'm playing the underdog, man. I'm playing the underdog because everybody likes the underdog story. And
go ahead.
I'm just looking at it as we've seen so many upsets this season. It's scary to say that they'll take it in the playoffs, man. I mean, I get it, they dominant, but it's scary to say that right now.
the amount of shit you'll talk if Texas falls to Arizona State, like you'll talk shit if they fail to Clemson, but if they fall to Arizona State, you gonna basically you getting blocked. Somebody gonna block your ass.
Oh, hold on, you ain't seen nothing yet, Jim.
What is it?
Let me say it again.
You see what I'm saying?
Let me say it again. I think Texas, and I got my Longhorns, my dead Longhorns. I think Texas is gonna fall to Arizona State.
And he Lee Corso. Chris, please save us. Please save us. This man tripping.
Hey, second round, I'm with you, bro. I think Ryan Day and Chip Kelly get their revenge. I think they take Oregon out. Texas, I think they're gonna steamroll Arizona State.
That Boise game is the most interesting one.
Yeah, the third one is tough, bro, because James Franklin sucks in big games. The motherfucker is 0-12, I think, against top 10 teams. It's crazy. I got to give them the edge here, though. I think Penn State is going to put 8 in the box, and they're going to try to have Boise's 3 receivers beat they 3 DBs, and I think that's how they're going to play that game out. I think Georgia-Notre Dame is going to be a really good game. Like I said, Notre Dame is led by that defense against a struggling Georgia offense that may not have Carson Beck. I think that's going to be a good one. I think Georgia still takes it because of their defense, because I'm not confident in Notre Dame's offense either. But I got Georgia advancing in that one. I
would argue that the other kid may be the better player for if they go against Notre Dame. Than Carson Beck.
Oh, yeah.
Carson Beck does too much thinking for my life. Nice. And that other kid was reckless. He did some crazy ass shit. Now, if we can keep him from getting concussed, they might be all right. And we can keep his ass on the field, they might be all right. All right, that gives me I got Ohio State going against Texas. Texas go ahead and take Ohio State out. That would be a brutal game. It's probably going to end up being something like 20-17 to end it. On the other side, Boise State versus Georgia is not gonna last long. That game, Georgia gonna make quick work of them. I don't care who the quarterback is; they'll make quick work of Boise. In which gets us to the championship game. And I'll just go ahead and do it. So for the sake of moving along, that will end up being Texas and Georgia for the third time. Which didn't that happen? It was Alabama and LSU, I believe, either that or Alabama and Georgia. They went against each other. I think they went against each other twice. Anyways, we'll have Georgia and Texas in the brawl for it all, to quote an episode of Martin. And at that point, I think Georgia is your national championship. I'm just looking at the field. I mean, you're a national champion. I'm just looking at the field, and I feel like Georgia is the strongest team left. Go ahead and give me your guys from your Final Four up until your winner, starting with Chris.
I got Texas beating Ohio State, and I got Georgia beating Penn State, and the NFL. And I know the NFL is different from college football, right? But even like you said, the Bama LSU thing, even when Georgia finally beat Bama in the Natty, it's hard to beat somebody 3 times in one season.
Even twice in one season, because they split it. Georgia and Texas split it 1-1.
I think Texas takes home the national championship in the 2024-2025 season.
I know somebody mad about that shit. I wonder who it is. Know somebody mad? I know somebody don't like this shit. He don't like the idea. Look at him, ball scowl. What you got? What you got, Greg?
Man, y'all really cutting deep. But let's see. I think Oregon. I'm still sticking with Oregon on this. I'm sorry. Oregon gonna take out, and y'all gonna. I mean, like y'all said, y'all gonna fry me. But Arizona State, they'll take
that shit crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, I know. SMU is probably gonna take out. Oh God. Indiana gonna take out SMU, and your
Your
natty
bracket is
champion,
insane.
and your natty champion is gonna be Oregon.
Your bracket is insane, but I tell you what, that's the only way Oregon gonna get a national championship. You know what? I was just looking at this. The worst case nightmare scenario for ESPN and ABC on their national championship game is gonna be Indiana against fucking Arizona State. That is a nightmare scenario.
I don't even, to be honest, I ain't gonna even lie to you. I wouldn't even tune in to that game.
I ain't watching that shit, man. We gonna skip that shit. If that's the national championship game, we're not talking about.
I'm going to watch
That is
Canadian
a
football.
nightmare. I didn't even realize that just looking at like what the worst scenario is, because even if you got SMU against Arizona State, like SMU has some history. You know what I'm saying? If you got Tennessee coming all the way out, Tennessee has some history, and if they went against Indiana, you know, you were halfway, and it's the SEC bias. You were halfway tuned into that. Motherfucker, Arizona State versus Indy. Shit, man, I cancel my subscription.
I will say this:
off.
they are definitely, when it comes to like the college football game, Arizona State is hell, bro.
They are entertaining to watch, but on paper, shit. All right, man. Let's move on to our next topic. A little bit more college stuff. This broke today. Ahead of us getting in, Bill Belichick is headed to college. He will be coaching the University of North Carolina, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know what to make of this. I feel like maybe he's doing this as a way to ingratiate, whatever the name is, word is, to get back into the good graces with the NFL again, because these teams don't really want to approach him, even though there are some NFL teams who probably could use Bill Belichick, who have teams that are on the cusp. It's just interesting. But also, have you all seen him on that show that's on the CW, that random ass NFL show?
I think I heard.
He's laid back. He's laid back. He cracks jokes. He's a different guy. And the other part of me feels like he wants something that's less stressful. And as far as, you know, college football coaching period is stressful. But I feel like college football may be a palate cleanser of his, of sorts. This is going to be really interesting, especially being a Miami fan. I don't know what to make. I don't know what to do with this information. I don't. I don't. Chris, help me out. What do you think?
I'm in the same boat, bro. I don't know what to make of it. The only thing I can say, though, is that defense is about to be spectacular.
Yeah, that's an SEC defense they got coming.
Yeah, he about to get some recruits, some transfer portal kids. They want to play for Bill because Bill knows what it takes to make it to the next level. Bill is about to become, not saying just total coaching lore-wise, but he is about to get people like people was going to play for Saban. They know how to get people to that next level. Bill knows what it takes. He's a defensive-minded coach. The offense might not be worth a damn, but North Carolina defense is about to go from middle of the road to one of the best in the country. Probably not overnight, probably not next season, but the season after that, 26. Oh, yeah.
That's the one. 26.
You don't want to play Carolina late in that year, bro.
Dog,
not up in that cold.
Let me tell you something. Pray to God they don't have a quarterback worth a damn.
Please, gonna bring that up.
Please pray that there is not a college Tom Brady just sitting out there just waiting. Let's pray for that. Man, if that man goes and he wins, he just win one championship. That's something that not many coaches have done. Not many that have done Super Bowl, and that's rare air. That's even rarer air, honestly, than the Don Shula record, if you think about it, which may be what he's thinking about. Then he get to pay the players. He don't have to go through when he had to do it under the table. He can pay them.
You feel me?
I'm telling you, Greg, what do you think about your old ball coach going to North Carolina?
I think in a college setting, like you said, it's gonna be a lot less stress. But thinking about this in the time that he did it, I'm wondering who's about to flip now. Who's gonna flip and be like, oh man,
the transfer portal did open. You right.
So who's about to flip?
Yeah.
Because at first it was like, I want to play with Prime. He played in the NFL and won Super Bowl. I'm finna play for a coach that won Super Bowls. Who's finna flip now? Like you said, what if he get a quarterback? It's a lot of them out there that's looking pretty damn hot right now.
Speaking of Marshall, they just lost their whole goddamn team. They fired their coach, and the whole team jumped into the portal, or is contemplating jumping into the portal. So it's a lot of players out there.
Man, I think he just had, like you said, he's going after some type of record. He just wants to prove that he's still that coach. I think that really hit him a lot when Tom Brady left and he saw like the demise of that team. And I think this is a way to show that he's still that dude. I ain't gonna give him like a win, like a championship the first season, but I definitely don't see them lose. Let me stop myself. I don't see them losing more than 5 games. I was about to say maybe like a 3-loss season, but I still ain't trusting Bill's coaching like that. But it's very interesting to see how his presence at that school, because one, we got to think about it like this. When he goes to that school, you got 2 people that's probably going to come out. I believe Tom will probably come out and support him. But then you get Jordan in the stands.
Oh, yeah. Jordan as a booster. And Jordan as a booster is about to raise the NIL budget.
Dog, you think them jerseys fresh. Now, you think what Prime did when he came to JSU was tough. Man, think about how it's going to be now that we got Unc Bill, man, and UNC, bro. Come on.
And
I
the
think
scrutiny
he's about to bring a lot of precedence to this school, and I think UNC is about to be a name we keep hearing about outside of basketball.
The scrutiny is not going to be as harsh as Prime's because he's proven already. He's proved it at the highest level. People are going to be willing to be like, well, I mean, then he's Caucasian. But people are going to be willing to say, all right, let's sit back and see what happens with Bill, because we know he knows what he's talking about. But he definitely has something to prove. He honestly has something to prove in terms of even getting another Super Bowl without Tom Brady. That's one thing. But he has something to prove as a coach as well. And going back and coaching like these up-and-coming players and recruiting them, it's going to be very interesting to see. And also, one of his best friends is Nick Saban. Maybe even his best friend. I bet he and Nick are probably sitting there. He's like, you know what, Bill? I think you'd be a hell of a coach if you did college. And maybe that's where it even started. Who knows? But North Carolina, they stole one. And what's crazy is like, I'm sure other programs are like, we didn't even know this was a possibility.
Right.
I feel like North Carolina did what Jackson State did, just picked up the phone and called Prime. I think that's what they did because Jackson State didn't know. They talked about it briefly. There's some of the history on it. They talked about it briefly. And it was just a thing like, well, we heard you wanted to coach. What do you think about coming here? And talks broke down. Then COVID happened. And then they came back around and tried again. And they were able to come to terms with it. And that's what I feel like may have happened with Bill. Nobody even thought it was a possibility. That's the difference between the Bill situation and Prime. People knew Prime wanted to coach. Nobody probably knew Bill was even interested in this.
Right, no, my bad. We'll finish what you're saying.
No, you good. You good. Go ahead.
All right, so let me put something in your ear real quick. That could be a possibility. I don't know if this was in the works and they just and both of them signed off. But what if he brings in Mike Vrabel?
Oh, he absolutely gonna bring in them trash ass coaches that he got. Well, Mike Vrabel ain't trash, but he gonna bring in his son or something like that. But Mike Vrabel, I could see Mike Vrabel going with him. Yeah,
man, I
could even see Mike Vrabel being an heir apparent. Honestly, that would be interesting too.
This man,
it's exciting. College football is exciting, man. It really has just become the NFL junior even more so than it already was.
They dropped their game at the right time, at the right season, because this season has been nothing short of just a video game played out. Like
that's how we should have known. We should have known it was going to be lit when college football 25 came back the same year. You're right.
Thanks.
So speaking of conference championship game, I just want to take a second. Yeah. I know y'all not JSU alums. I am on this show. And now I'll be remiss if I didn't bring this up. Let me tell you something. When TC became the coach after Prime, people, wanted to embrace him, like people who were fans and all that kind of stuff, alumni. We wanted to embrace him. That first year was a little shaky. We didn't win the SWAC championship. And we were like, we don't know if this guy's the guy for the job, but we also had to understand that he didn't have the allure of Prime. He lost a lot of players, and it was going to take time to get back. You couldn't have fucking told me he would have did it in 2 years. You couldn't have told me that. He changed his staff after that first year, came back with a vengeance, went 10-2, well, 11-2. We won the SWAC again, and now there's one thing left to do. The Celebration Bowl, we back there again. Third time in 4 years. TC, I'm talking to you. What are you prepared to do to bring this shit home? You have the opportunity, you and that JSU team, to basically say, fuck everybody who had something to say about y'all and counted y'all out when they shouldn't have. What are you all prepared to do? Here's the most enticing part of this whole thing, and I know he's thought about it, and I know those JSU players have thought about it, because I think about it ever since I realized that we were going back to the Celebration Bowl. What happens if he wins the Celebration Bowl, wins the HBCU National Championship, and he does something that no other JSU coach has done? And that includes Prime. Get it done. Because if they get it done, we are opening the show with this next week, and I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to lose my shit. That is the ultimate way for JSU as a school to bounce back from all the shit we went through when Prime and his sons and his Louis bags, they left and went to Colorado. That would be the best thing. If he can do something that no other JSU coach has done that puts him in rare air, nobody will be able to say that. Honestly, Grambling, I believe, is the only team to ever win a HBCU national championship and beat the MEAC. It's history on the line, man. It's history on the line. We are knocking at the door like Uncle Michael Irvin said, what are you prepared to do? That's all I got to say about that. Let's talk about the NFL discourse. And there was a lot of it. I don't think you guys, were very privy to it. So I'll give you a breakdown. The New York Jets, who I swore not to talk about Aaron Rodgers again. I'm going to maintain their promise. The New York Jets lost again in embarrassing fashion. Well, no, it wasn't embarrassing. They actually had a competitive game. Who knew they were even capable of it? Lost again. And Garrett Wilson was asked afterwards, and he said, well, maybe we're just losers. That's what he said. Maybe we're just losers. Maybe we got a culture of loser. Then I go to the next team who had some discourse, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. And theirs is interesting because they actually won. But there was a clip that was going around. In the future, I'm going to start putting clips and shit on here because I want to just offer some more context. But there was a clip going around that saw Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown both sulking on the sideline, basically pining to get the football as two world-class athletes. And Jalen Hurts has reverted to Alabama Jalen Hurts all of a sudden. He don't throw the goddamn ball no more. He just run and just hand it off to Saquon Barkley. And they just get it done that way all of a sudden. So they're sulking. And then a player from the Eagles, and I can't think of his name right now, says things have changed and they used to be friends. This was what he said verbatim. Jalen Hurts has since come out and said, A.J. Brown is a sensitive guy, And the player who said that misspoke. So that's the discourse that's going on with Philadelphia. Meanwhile, these guys are winning. Like Philadelphia has a really good record. Then we get to the Cowboys, who I feel like whoever lost that game, their team was going to implode, whether it was the Bengals or the Cowboys or whatever. CeeDee Lamb is complaining. Micah Parsons walked off before the game was over.
Took off.
He left. He left. Complete disarray. And then finally, we have the 49ers, who Deebo Samuel just said, "There's only so much I can do. I'm not getting the ball." This is the NFL discourses I've seen. I guess my question is, which one really stands out and is the most alarming to you so far? Like, which team really is going to be in need of a coaching change and that should be considered, whether it's players being moved or coaches being moved? And I'll start with you, Chris.
Honestly, the Jets washed. We ain't got to spend no time on them.
Jets may as well be sold at this point. Just get them out. Right.
Cowboys don't care. The Eagles, the Eagles' problems, it seems like a lot of he said, she said, or in this case, he said. But like you said, they're winning. I think all that shit goes out the window when you win. The most alarming one to me is the 49ers. And I know it's just one player specifically doing the majority of the talking. But when that player is looked upon as a captain and a leader, that kind of rings volume throughout the whole building. And the craziest part is, like Deebo said, he not getting the ball. He leaves the league and drops.
The reason you're not getting the ball is because you're dropping it.
Because you're not catching that bitch. So like, what are we talking about here, bro? Like, come on, man. Like, and this is the 49ers we talking about. Like, y'all supposed to have a winning culture, right? Like, y'all supposed to have a professional organization. Like, y'all don't do this bashing in front of the media stuff. Even back in the day, like I don't remember Alex Smith trash talking people.
T.O. was the only one that was running. T.O. was the only one that was running wild. He was the only one.
Yeah,
and you can't do nothing.
The only one. Yeah. The only one, bro. Like this is an organization that's known for winning, bro. Like you don't go behind your teammates' back and talk to the media and just like destroy them like that, bro. Like y'all dealing with injuries. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got everybody hurt. So what do you every season not gonna go the way you want it to, bro. So when you get a little bit of adversity, like your coping mechanism is to shit talk your teammates, bro. Like I got a problem with that, man. It just speaks volumes to me, bro.
Mm-hmm. I understand, and I agree. Actually, that culturally, that is an issue. And he did try to come back. He tried to delete the tweet. That shit ain't work. We all knew that. And then the other part of it, he tried to come back and act like he's, clarifying, saying, I was just frustrated about the situation. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. They can go for a shot at Mike Shanahan, or Kyle Shanahan. I'm sorry. They can go for a shot at him also. The hardest thing to do, and I think I said this in our inaugural episode, is to win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important that you claw and you scrap and you fight. You try and knock the other motherfuckers out when you get to one. Because the other side of that, of getting to one is difficult.
Right.
The other side of it is how hard it is to get back. They put together a team of people who are injury prone, led by Christian McCaffrey. When that game ended last year and they didn't win that Super Bowl, I said they need to be concerned. Here we are this year, Everybody been out at one point or another, and now the frustrations are boiling over, and it's just about time to blow that thing up. Here's the funny part about the Rams. The Rams are playing with house money, and they kicking everybody's ass one way or another.
Yep.
They are. Then you got Seattle, who's also playing well. They're about to have to blow this thing up. What do you think is the most concerning situation in terms of discourse, Greg?
Well, I'm gonna agree with Chris on this. It's definitely the 49ers. But I also thought about when you talked about the teams and the discourse as a whole. It sounds like the generation of players that are coming in, when you have too many me players on the same side that are basically all stars, you get into the situation where one player is above the team. I'm above the team, and I don't understand why I'm not getting what I want. It's not about the money anymore. You chose me, so give me what I want. And when you have too many players that have that type of mentality, then you start to cause drama. You get people that want to get out of the deals. You get people that are essentially turn into AB. And I'm not saying that the cohesion can't be fixed, but at the same time, when you get a player like Debo that starts to really see it as the reason we're not succeeding is because I'm not the main star of the team anymore, it just makes me understand that when you don't get what you want, it's the hell with the team. What was it? Remember the Titans when the dude, the white guy went to him? He's like, man, we doing this for the team. He's like, team? This ain't no team. This is me. I'm trying to get mine.
Right.
That's literally how they talking nowadays.
Very well done.
I'm trying to get mine because this is what y'all brought me for, and I'm not getting it. So the hell with the team. Give me what I want. And not to bring up LeBron again, but you start to get players that start focusing on their stats. It's my stats. I want to look good before I retire. I want this ring, but at the same time, I want to look good for the team that chose me to play for them because I'm the star. I'm who you come to see. I fill these seats, and it's just like until you can get their heads unwrapped around it. And it could be that some players know what their timeline is. I know how long I got left, and you making me seem like you're trying to get rid of me, or you making me seem like I'm a non-factor on this team. And I need to remind y'all who I am. But I mean, if you lead the lead and drop passes, bro, like, come on.
Relax. Fucking relax. Be humble. That's the main thing you need to be focused on right now is being humble. Because y'all sitting up here, y'all bare, y'all, it's just real hit and miss. But you get Kittle is hurt, McCaffrey is hurt. Brock Purdy, he in and out and all that kind of stuff. You know what's impressive about that? I just want to go back and say, when Tom Brady tried to sabotage Jimmy G's career with the 49ers and they turned him away, that's going to go down as one of the dumbest decisions in history. They should have got Tom Brady. Kyle Shanahan in their first year. They should have just went ahead and got Tom Brady. Put him on not the first year, the Tampa Bay year that Tom Brady had. He wanted to go to the 49ers. Mainly because, again, he wanted to spike Jimmy G, and they chose Jimmy G, and Jimmy G ain't even there no more. And this shit was dumb. This shit was real dumb. To go back to Philadelphia, you said something interesting. You said winning essentially cures all, and I agree with that to an extent. They got the Steelers coming up, which looks like a loss the way the Steelers are playing. I think they're going to beat the Commanders, they're going to beat the Cowboys, and of course they're going to beat the lowly Giants. What happens to that team when they lose to the Detroit Lions by a blowout in the playoffs? And A.J. Brown got 50-something yards, and Devontae Smith maybe got 30-something. And they kept trying to rely on Saquon Barkley, who's getting shut down in the game, and Jalen Hurts, who has regressed to being an Alabama quarterback. What happens at that point to their team? With a whole offseason that's coming up, who's going to demand the trade? My money is going to be on A.J. Brown. And I've seen wide receivers like A.J. Brown before. Super talented. I mean, awesome at what they do. And their quarterback just can't really keep up with them. And I've seen how their story turns out many times. When they lose to the Detroit Lions, because that's who they're going to lose to, it's going to be up. I'm telling you, it's gonna be up. And the Detroit Lions, when you have a team that can expose your weaknesses the way the Detroit Lions are built to do, yeah, it turns into a whole different situation. All right. I'm tired of these motherfuckers. I'm tired of these motherfuckers.
Oh man.
I am a Los Angeles Chargers, former San Diego Charger fan, and I'm tired of these motherfuckers, man. I looked at my daughter when that damn kick bounced off the pole and into the field goal, into the upright. I looked at my daughter and said, at this point, is God just on their side? Do I need to call Vegas and just let them know I'm riding with the Chiefs for the rest of the year? At this point, is it divine what is going on? Seriously. I need to understand what it is that's happening. Like it feels like there is a divine energy around that team. No matter what the game's looking like, we looked putrid offensively in the first half. In the second half, the adjustments. Oh my, I love Jim Harbaugh. I feel like if we weren't as injured as we are, we would be a lot better off than we are. And we still have a good record. We're still in the playoffs. We'd be a lot better than we are. I feel like in the offseason, we need to get some more offensive weapons that are more reliable than Quentin Johnson, who has issues catching the ball from time to time. He gets butterfingers all of a sudden. J.K. Dobbins can't stay healthy for shit. We need some more weapons on that side. But the problem is, like, when your team is made to be the way they are, what do you do about a motherfucker who decided to just kick the ball and do some dumb shit out of nowhere and put the damn team that is immortal at this point on the 40? And all they need is 1 point to win. What do you do about stuff like that? What do you do about referees who just say, yeah, today is when I'm gonna let these flags fly? What do you do about those situations, right? What do you do when your offensive and defensive line just start doing crackhead shit? What do you do? What are you supposed to do about that? And people are saying they don't look like the same old Chiefs. Well, you know what? I'm starting to think they don't have to. I'm starting to think I can't be the only person feeling this way. Greg, how do you feel about the Chiefs?
Man, so it's something about that look that Patrick Mahomes gives, like when they down. It's kind of like everybody used to talk about how the deflate gate. I think this man switching balls. I don't know if y'all remember that toy, but it used to have like a little, if you squeeze it, it would start vibrating. Yeah. I think this man throws his face on and they switch the balls out because I really don't understand how, like you said, it's got to be divine intervention. I don't know what it is about Patrick, but it's like when times get rough, it's like everybody gets scared. Like the ball, like, oh crap, like this man down, we got to help him out. And the referees don't know what to do. And it's just like Patrick on the side looking like a freaking Miller Lite commercial with the American flag flying in the background with the eagle going. Like he just set his tone like, I got this.
This man has aura.
It's something about this man that scares people when it comes down to clutch moments. It's like nothing goes right for you. It's like Lil B put a curse on you if it comes down to the last, when it comes down to the last possible chance of you winning that game against the Chiefs. And it's like you said, it's a divine intervention, and it's something like when you root against them with all your heart and you think it's a wrap, it's like they every time it never fails, they pan to Patrick Mahomes, and you just know, God, it's a wrap. They showed his face, y'all. Just turn the TV off. Go and go to bed, roll over.
Pat Mahomes has been in the league. What is this? This is gonna be his 6th year, right? I believe it's his 6th year. Yeah, it gotta be. I want to tell you why it gotta be. First year, starting AFC Championship, MVP falls to Tom Brady on a call that they get now that the Patriots used to get all the time, frankly. Just respectful.
Right.
Next year, win the Super Bowl against the 49ers. Year after that, they lost in the AFC Championship game to the Bengals. Year after that, they won the Super Bowl against the Eagles. Year after that, won the Super Bowl against the 49ers again. The Eagles are in disarray. The Bengals don't matter. Tom Brady is gone. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, the Tampa Bay Super Bowl. Tom Brady is gone.
Right.
And at this point, and those factors, it feels like God is saying it's his time again because I don't trust Baltimore. I do not trust, let's see, the playoff teams. I don't trust Baltimore. I don't trust the Chargers, my team. I don't trust them. I don't trust who is it? Not the Bills. It's another team that's in there, but I guess it don't matter. It don't matter what their name is. I don't trust them either. I feel like we're setting up for these Bulls to go back. The only team that honestly just everything rests on at this point is the Detroit Lions. And I'm afraid that Dan Campbell is going to get to the Super Bowl and he's going to feel like he needs to make himself out to be a genius. And then they're going to win it. And Chris, have you shared? Yeah, you haven't shared your thoughts yet. I'm sorry.
Nah, we good, man.
It's like, what is there to pray for and to hope for? What Kansas City Chiefs fan? So what was their prayer to get this man and this team?
Hey, they must got Christopher Lloyd out there, man, because there's some angels in the end zone, bro.
Bruh,
it look like the wind trajectory of the pass is just so happened to hit perfectly when he throw the ball in the fourth quarter. The field goal, like you said, it's like the ball had a magnet in it. It's like
it don't make sense.
It's
some shit you
Like,
can't make up for, man.
In terms of physics, in the realm of physics, it don't make sense. Here is my issue, and I keep telling my daughter this. My daughter's new to the whole NFL fandom game. I said they turn into a different team in the playoffs. That's the most concerning part.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, everybody, we saw that receiving core lead the league in drops last year. And I swear to God, when the wild card round came around, everybody's hands had stick 'em on them. One-handed catches with the fingertips. They did the catch from the Super Bowl. Old boy did it with the hand up. They couldn't drop the ball no more. The defense was stopping everybody. And the offense really wasn't clicking like that. Then all of a sudden in the Super Bowl, the offense was on fire.
It's that Michael Jordan secret juice stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's
Water bottles filled up.
It's Space Jam, man. I'm about to get us up out of here. We got to talk about one more. I damn sure don't trust these motherfuckers, dude.
Hey, hell no.
Let's be honest. The best part of Josh Allen's career, and Josh Allen is a hell of a baller. 6 touchdowns total for the game. Remarkable. The best moment of his career was losing to Pat Mahomes with 28 seconds left, or whatever that was. That was the best part of his career. People been glazing him up on the game he lost.
That's wild.
All of a sudden, when he get to the Pat Mahomes, he can play a good game. His kicker's just gonna forget how to kick. That's it. My issue, and the reason this is even a thing, I made the mistake of not watching a Josh Allen game on mute or on the red zone where I don't hear the commentator. They just keep bouncing around in different games. The way they were praising this man, like he was the second coming of Tom Brady and the third coming of Joe Montana, was crazy. I was sickened by what I was hearing. How much do you have to pay Tom Brady to say, man, this is one of the best guys I ever seen? What the fuck are you talking about? You one of the best guys you ever seen.
Facts.
Chris, I think we texted about this a little bit. Just tell me, I'm new to the Josh Allen Glaze. You apparently were aware of it. Please let me know what you think about it.
Bro, it's crazy. Like, and don't get me wrong. I think part of it is because of his story. And I love his story, right? I think he was a no-star recruit out of California, had 0 offers, ends up going to Wyoming. When I was out there, I was stationed in Wyoming. I got to see him live. I wasn't impressed then. but I get it, right? 6'5", 240, can run for a big guy, cannon of an arm, can make every throw. What has he won, bro? Like I that used to be the staple of our childhoods growing up. You had to win some shit for us to talk about you this way. Now it's like I said, I mean, he he may be the best day since sliced bread for the white people. You know what I'm saying?
He
I
hadn't
get
even
it,
done
right?
what Lamar has done.
He ain't even done what Joe Burrow done. Burrow got to a Super Bowl.
That's my thing, man. Now we starting to say Joe Burrow is overrated. No, Josh Allen he's probably gonna win the Super Bowl. Josh Allen is the one that people think Lamar Jackson is or Joe Burrow is. I'm a Lamar Jackson critic. He got to show me something. Josh Allen damn sure got to show me something.
Everything at this point.
Everything. Do something besides act like the Chiefs is the fucking Super Bowl every time you see it. Do something else.
He's playing well this year, right?
He's playing well. That game I saw, but here's the thing: they glazed him again that game, and they lost.
Right.
I was looking at the highlights. They damn near wanted to go put the microphone in his face when they lost. What you talking to him for?
He's gonna have a 30 for 30.
What you talking to him for? Greg, please chime in, man. How do you feel about the glaze that this man get?
Man, I might date my age. I don't know if y'all saw this movie, but it was called Bring It On with Kirsten Dunst, like the cheerleader
Absolutely,
movie.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of the part where they find out from Eliza Dushku that they've been stealing like the Clover's routines. And it kind of makes me think about how, like you said, this is their version of Lamar Jackson, and they're just glazing him off of what they perceive the best to be. But little do they know, like, he's really not that hot. So when them girls went and saw what their routine was versus theirs, they were like, oh, we ain't doing shit. Like, I really feel like this is kind of what they put me in the mindset of. This man can step on the field and probably do one drop back, and the stand gonna go crazy. We're gonna have 30 minutes of his cleats, his knee pads, how he twisted his hips. Like, it's gonna be an absurd amount of gloating. And I'm like, bro,
I don't know how many Josh Allen games you've seen. I swear there was a moment on Sunday where he missed his target, and they did that. They broke down his form in throwing and said, boy, that was a hell.
Yep.
Hold on.
What's wrong with him? He doesn't miss those throws.
Right. I'm gonna take another movie riff. Y'all remember when Michael Jordan was in Space Jam and he played baseball and he struck out and the fans went wild? That's literally
that's it. That's what it is.
That's a good looking strikeout, Mike.
This man can't do nothing wrong, bro. I done seen some crazy ass glazing. I done watched LeBron's entire career. The glazing that they doing for Josh Allen is unprecedented. Like I thought the shit they was doing for Caitlin Clark was something. This Josh Allen shit is out of hand,
Man.
and it's not even on the Caitlin Clark situation. I can understand because there's a MAGA backing with that. I don't get where this Josh Allen shit coming from. I don't understand it, man. It's crazy. Like I remember sitting down and watching LeBron play. What game was that? What game? It was I think it was in the bubble. I want to say it was in the bubble. Yeah, it was the game where they had to play against the Warriors to put a play in. And he hit that wild, dumbass three out of nowhere. And people act like that was the greatest three-point shot from the greatest three-point shooter they ever saw, while the actual greatest three-point shooter was on the floor. And I was looking like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is not a LeBron James hate podcast. Let me tone it down. What I'm saying is Josh Allen gets credit for incompletions, credit for sacks. I thought they wanted to give him the sack stat one time I saw him get hit. I said, oh, he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the crazy shit that I'm seeing. And then you have a random game where he caught a pass for a touchdown that he threw, whatever. And it did all that. So they glazed him on that and then turned around and talked about him having 6 touchdowns in the game. Let me tell you something. He is a fantasy football god. He gonna have to show it to me in the playoffs. He got to show me something, man. Him and Lamar. And that's what I'm fair. I'm the mayor fair when it comes to that shit. Lamar got to show me something too. He does. All right, y'all. I've taken up enough of y'all time. I appreciate y'all boys for coming through, man. Greg, what's your Twitch?
Same as my name, Jim Geek Gamer.
All right. And Hoodie, we gonna be seeing some more of you, man. We really about to get you on this podcast trip, man. You about to have some shit to plug and all that kind of stuff. On our end, on my end, on Facebook, The Unapologetic Geek. On Instagram, U_GeekTV. You're already here on YouTube. Go ahead and like and subscribe and all that good stuff. U-GeekTV. We got a lot of shit coming up. A lot of shit on inner works. 2025 is going to be the year. But yet again, I'm Josh Unapologetic Geek, joined yet again by Triple G, the Gym Geek Gamer, my boy Greg, and my boy Hoodie C, Chris. And until next time, until next week, we are out.